Morning guys, Mon here. Today I want to talk about my league start and, well, Essence Drain Contagion. It has been mentioned a lot on the Reddits and stuff like that, and yeah, it's working very well, especially compared to other stuff where people are not as lucky with their starter skill or not as happy. I had a very good time pushing it through the acts, even though I did not have a lot of time, so I just finished the acts a couple of hours ago. We are in a moment taking a look at the character, and I'll go over how I leveled the character and everything. Talk about a few or a couple of tips and tricks on what I did early on, what could have been better, and at what point I just stopped gearing, because like I didn't take too many upgrades because it just did feel very good, and as you can see later on my passive tree and here I did go for a very defensive route overall while still maintaining quite decent damage. Also, I did not buy items on this character. While I did buy one item, but it turned out to be worse than the item I was wearing already, so I didn't change to the item I did buy. But generally I just felt like the character doesn't really need a lot of help from buying. It works very well on just found stuff, though I did indeed find a pretty decent +2 weapon early on, or I have a pretty decent +1 weapon early on and a pretty decent +2 weapon later on, which did of course help a lot, but generally is not extremely much better than any other weapon with 2 usable mods on it. So generally I wouldn't say this did carry me solo, but it did help quite a bit. Overall, the character focuses on Essence Drain and Contagion for clear, obviously, and then takes a couple of other skills for single target addition. Generally, we don't really have to use those a lot, though on some rares, especially those with cast resistance, they do help quite a bit. The boss times of the character have been very good, and the defense is like really good. Also, we have gotten some new support in form of an aura for getting our energy shield back very quickly, which was really nice and did help a lot while leveling. But generally I will probably just keep it because it's just a very nice panic button, because we can with just one button instantly start recharging our energy shield and prevent it from like being stopped to recharge during the duration, which is like 4 seconds or 3 to 4 seconds depending on the level of the skill, which is very good. But this pretty much sums up my experience, so let's take a look at the character, and at the end we will watch the finish of the boss fight of Doryani. Right now, right after the story was finished, I'm level 62, just finished the story. Did only change one item so far, and I do believe I sold it already, but I did... Oh no, here we had an Crown of Thorns early on, which did help a lot. Energy shield, and actually gives more energy shield like as my helmet right now, but this one has triple resistance. I just gambled it right after the story. We had like 180k gold, I do think, so this one was very good. We had it from, I do believe, Act 4 or Act 5 for quite a bit, so that was a very hefty boost for our defense. Then overall, this wand I had since level 40, and a similar worse one with +1 since level like 10 or 15 or something like that. Also, I do have focus with just a lot of spell damage on it. The other gear, we just try to fix our resistances, get some move speed, get energy shield, some cast speed here or there, and then just a lot of energy shield. For life, while some items do have life, actually just belt and body armor at this point I do think. These aren't too special, but we also don't really need a lot of life, we just need enough to not just die there. Also, we are using the Ascendancy to get life as energy shield recharge, which is very nice. Then let's take a look at the tree quickly. I do have Cruel Ascendancy. I started with Eldritch Empowerment, which I would not recommend at all. This can cause a lot of trouble early on when you don't have a lot of energy shield, because as soon as your energy shield is depleted, you just cannot cast at all. It just doesn't work. So this is very annoying, and this was like my highest reason of suffering through the Axe, because sometimes I was just like, well, I'm running right now and I'm running until something doesn't hit me, which was kind of frustrating against ranged enemies or dots and stuff like that. So, but that generally was just completely on me, so I'm not going to blame the game for that. That was just picking a Ascendancy node I should not have picked early on. Then I went with Solar's Form, which is a very, very nice defensive layer and does also fix all mana issues you ever have during the campaign. Just says, well, you have enough mana regen to not care at all. Then you do also have Price of Power, which is very, very good, especially with Profane Ritual providing power charges. Though I generally did not like it too much, because on single target bosses where you need like the single target the most, you sometimes just don't have Profane Ritual because there are no ads spawning, and that was kind of pointless to use it then, so I didn't go for Price of Power. I did test it early, but I didn't like it too much. You can also go for Rupture the Soul for early explosions, or not Necromantic Conduit. This one is very, very bad early on because you just will not sustain your mana. Also, the Unholy Might does not work for dots, so it's kinda pointless on the leveling Essence Drain Contagion. You could also go with Eternal Life, with Solar's Form Eternal Life for just a higher life pool, though I didn't feel like it would provide a lot of defense, because generally I could just use my life flask to keep my life stacked and just did not care about a lot of the damage going through, so this really was not an issue I had at all. Then for the tree, early on I went through the spell damage stuff and the chaos nodes here for damage, so I went here, 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 and then up here just went for chaos damage and rush the dark entries for +1 to all chaos skill gems. Very, very good node. Now after a while I did respec a bit, went for a lot more defensive route. We have a lot of energy shield nodes here, energy shield here, we have energy shield here, and up here as well, though these are the newest nodes. I'm traveling over here for some shenanigans I'm trying later on, but here I just want to talk about the leveling. Also, this is a fairly new addition as well. I pretty much focused on getting the fastest sort of energy shield recharge, so that Eldritch Empowerment would actually feel good, and it did start to feel good as soon as I did hit like 1k energy shield, which was fairly early on, especially with nodes like Heavy Buffer and then a decent helmet. Actually with a node like Illuminated Crown, and then when you have, for example, Crown, you can get these for like 1 alchemy, which is very good, even with a decent roll. You get like 400, 500 ES from it. When you have some more ES nodes, maybe even 600 or 700 ES. So this is a very, very strong node. And then you need some kind of body armor. Generally, as soon as you have like 3 chaos damage clusters, the damage is enough for clearing. With the 5th, this would feel really good, especially Wither Away, when you have a higher level for your Wither Presence and the persistence attached to it. This just pushes any single target fight to 70% Wither, which is just a lot of additional damage. We have a Sense Drain linked to Swift Affliction, Zenith, and Considered Casting. There is a lot of people that add Chain to it to make it feel a little better, but I didn't really feel like I needed, so I just went with 3 damage supports. For Contagion, I went with Energy Barrier, Unleash, and Arcane Tempo. Energy Barrier just feels very good because you don't have a lot of life, so you are actually getting stunned quite a bit, but like very light short stuns, which aren't too annoying, but while casting Contagion, just instantly start your energy shield recharge and it is not interruptible for 2 seconds. So this is another very, very cool defense layer, especially because you are generally casting Contagion a lot while clearing, so it just feels very, very good. Then we do have Profane Ritual, which I don't support currently, Dark Effigy, which I do support with Withering Touch and Acceleration. Here, when you have the opportunity to put quality on it, this is very, very good, because you have a lot of hits on it, and you stack Wither quite a bit quicker, which can be good early on, though gem cutters are very expensive, so I probably do not want to use them, but generally very, very strong here. Then one of the biggest game changer for early leveling Energy Shield was Convalescence. I did add Second Wind and Ingenuity to just keep the cooldown somewhat short, but have 2 charges. So twice without caring about the cooldown, I can just instantly start my Energy Shield recharge rate, which does just feel very good. It actually have a skill above my camera, so very useless. But generally it does just instantly start Energy Shield recovery at the cost of 30 spirit, which is, well, a very, very fair trade. Then we have the Spare, linked with Decaying Hex and Profanity. Profanity does actually not do a lot for it. I just have it around, and, well, you could just put in Heightened Curse and it would be better. Actually, just add Heightened Curse, please don't go with Profanity. The Decaying Hex actually is, with some intelligence, a very, very strong debuff, much stronger than I did expect it to be. And especially for leveling, you just generally just pick some int nodes. I do have a couple of strength nodes here in as well, because, well, going for leveling early on, I went with strength for HP, so you could take these out and just go with the intelligence for more damage. But as I said, I didn't really need more damage, but generally you just want to stack as many Chaos Degens as possible for Dark Effigy to just hit more, which is a nice DPS boost. Also, like a mistake you should not do on single type is stop casting Sense Drain. You do want to cast Sense Drain all the time, because when you take a look at damage over time, we are at 3.5k per second. And when we take a look at the projectiles, it's at 1.6k damage on impact. So actually you're getting a lot of damage from just casting it as long as you can. So don't just stand around, use your buttons, use your skills, and you'll deal a lot more damage than if you just put your dots on the enemy and then not care anymore. So this is very, very helpful and generally a very, very cool character. I had a lot of fun with it. If you have any questions about it, and I usually don't showcase my characters this early because I'm playing around with them a lot, I wouldn't say this passive tree is perfect. It probably is far from perfect. I did try around with increased area nodes for Contagion, and I do want to experiment with Expanse and Concentrated Effect, because I did feel like the areas is kind of weird on it, and not sure if the spread actually is affected by AoE, but it might be, but it just felt weird, so I did keep it out here for now. Generally, if you have any questions about the character, feel free to ask, and I will try to answer them, though this character, as I said, is very, very far from finished, and I haven't even started experimenting around. So if you want to see that over the couple of next days, I will be streaming pretty much every day, because I have a lot of more time than on the starting weekend, which is sad. But yes, I hope this video was helpful, and as I said, just ask if you need any ideas. I'll drop the character POB into the description, though again, warning, this is not a flesh out character, just a basic concept, a skeleton, so do with it what you want. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.